You're watching the Voice Channel. Okay, today we're talking about symmetry. You know what symmetry is? You know how, like, if you put a mirror right up on your face, right? Your face will look exactly the same, right? But if you only showed a mirror right here, the mirror image of this side of your face will look like this side of your face, right? So you have symmetry straight down your middle. Symmetry, okay? That is called reflection symmetry. Where do I have reflection symmetry in a square? Where could I put a mirror and have it look just like the square? In the middle, right? I could put a mirror right there, and that is symmetric on both sides. Could I also put a mirror here? Right? There's also symmetry there, right? Could I also put it here? Do you agree that there's symmetry there as well? Right? There's one more, right? Right there. Okay? So there's basically 1, 2, 3, 4 reflectional symmetries, for lack of a better term. Okay? There's 4 places where you can have reflectional symmetry. How about here? Where could I have symmetry? Down the middle, right? Where else? Could I have it here? Right? And then one other corner, right? Okay? Everyone understand what I mean by symmetry, reflection symmetry, right? Okay? What about here? There's symmetry there, right? Here. Right? There. Right? Sorry, it's not drawn perfectly. These should, if I drew this perfectly, these would cross at the exact same point. Okay? Do I also have symmetry, by the way, here? Okay, do you agree there's symmetry there? In fact, here and here. Right? There's a lot of symmetry in that one, right? Okay, that's reflection symmetry. There's another kind of symmetry called rotation symmetry, meaning we rotate. For example, okay, could I rotate this figure? Right? If I just rotate this 90 degrees, don't I have the same exact figure? Right? Mm-hmm. In fact, if I turn this all the way around 360 degrees, how many times will I have the same figure? 4 times, thank you, Jaden, right? Does everyone agree with that? If I turn this all the way around in a 360 degree turn, I'll have the same figure 4 times. That's called mapping. Mapping onto itself. This shape will map onto itself here. It maps onto itself here. It maps onto itself here. And it maps onto itself here. Okay? Can I have a nod of the head if you understand what I'm saying? Okay? How many times will this guy map onto himself in a 360-degree turn? 4 times, right? How many times will this guy map onto himself? 5 times, right? By the way, I'm going to back up for a second. Do you agree that this one maps onto itself every 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees, right? In fact, isn't that 360 divided by 4 is 90, right? Could somebody tell me then how many degrees it will be before this maps onto itself for the first time? 72. Jaden, would you tell me how you got that?
360 divided by 5.
360 divided by 5 gives you 72. It's 72 degrees to go from here to here. Yes?
So you pretty much, however many times it maps out to itself,
Yes.
that's what you divide that by 360.
You just do 360 divided by that number and it gives you the degrees. Yes. Can I have a nod if you understand what I'm talking about? It's pretty easy, right? Okay. How many degrees from here to here? Just call it out when you figure it out. How many degrees from in one mapping? 'Say it again? 90? It's higher. That would be 4, right? There's only 3 here, right? What is it for 3?
180.
180 is too high. 180 would be for 2.
Oh,
120, right? 360 divided by 3 is 120. Okay? Does that make sense? So there's a one. So it takes 120 degrees for this guy to map onto itself. Okay? How many for this one to map onto itself?
1.
Well, actually, doesn't this go 1, 2? Twice, right?
Why?
Because of this rectangle inside the circle, right?
Okay.
That's no good, right? But 180, right? Very good. Thank you, Sincere. Okay, so this one has a mapping of 180 degrees. Okay? Yeah. Pass. Okay? How many times will this one map onto itself? Can you see how many? 8. What is, how many degrees before it maps onto itself? 45. 360 divided by 8 is 45. Okay? All right. Can I have a nod if everyone is okay with all that so far? We're good so far? Okay. Now, over here. Does everyone understand the term clockwise? Okay. So let's talk about a clock for a second. A clock goes 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to 12. And the hand, does the hand go this way or does it go this way? It goes to the right, right? Right is called clockwise because that's how a clock normally turns. Counterclockwise means the opposite direction. Okay? Make sense? So looking over here, all right, how many times will this figure map onto itself? How many sides are there, or how many angles are there? 6, right? 6. It will map onto itself 6 times. So what's the degree measure of one mapping? 60. Very good. 360 divided by 6 is 60. Okay? All right. So here's my first question about clockwise. A clockwise rotation means I'm rotating this way of 60 degrees about G. It means it's turning on G. G is the center, right? When something turns, it turns about on a center thing, right? So if it turns 60 degrees about G, means it's turning on G, as if G is that needle that it turns on, right? Maps B onto what? Where will B wind up after 60 degrees?
Same.
C. The answer is just C. Okay? Maps onto C. Does that make sense? 60 degrees maps onto C. What if I said 120 degrees? All right, clockwise, 120 degrees maps B onto what? Say it louder. D, right? If I say 120 degrees, B will map onto D. Does that make sense? Can I have a nod? Okay. What if I say 60 degrees counterclockwise? Counterclockwise. Counterclockwise from B goes to A, right? 60 degrees counterclockwise maps B onto A. I need another nod. Are we good there? Okay. What if I said 120 degrees counterclockwise maps B onto what? Say that louder. F. Very good, Mel. B onto F. Okay? Mel, pick me a letter. E. 120 degrees counterclockwise maps E onto what? C, right? Because counterclockwise is this way, right? This would be 60, this would be 120, right? This one would be C. Does that make sense? Okay? Omar, give me a letter. D. 120 degrees counterclockwise maps D onto what? Anyone? What? B. Everyone good with that? Okay. $60 degrees clockwise. Shay, give me a letter. Any letter. F. 60 degrees clockwise maps F onto what? A. Very good. Are you with me? Can I have another nod, please? Are we good? You've been watching the Weiss channel.